Hi everyone, my name is Marilene Quintana and today we are going to discuss the most important updates during the COVID-19 situation. Subscribe below to our channel so you can receive weekly updates, and don't forget to click on the little bell so you can receive notifications of new weekly videos. The first update is that you are not able to enter Canada currently if you have a visitor visa or electronic travel authorization unless your trip is essential. Essential could be family reunification. For example, if you have a family member in Canada who are a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, a student or a worker, and you want to reunite with that family in Canada, then you can travel. But remember, if your family member is a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, you don't need special authorization. However, if your family member is a study permit holder or a work permit holder, you must send a request for authorization to a specific email that will authorize your trip to Canada. Other example of essential travels could be coming to work in an essential service, for example, transportation, health services, or food processing. Or if you also have a study plan to Canada, in this case, if you have a study permit approved before March 18. Remember that for you to travel, you cannot show any symptoms of the COVID-19. So if you're coughing or have fever, you may be prevented from boarding to Canada. More recently, was also issued an update requiring all travelers to wear masks so they can protect themselves and also protect the workers on the transit, on the airport, or even on the airplane. If you have already your visa approved to Canada before March 18, you can travel. But if your institution is offering online courses, you can also start studying online even from outside Canada. And the fact that you are studying online won't affect your post-graduation work permit. So this is very important, and I think it is a very nice measure to consider because you can study from the comfort of your home without putting yourself at risk when traveling until everything goes away. The government of Canada will allow you to study for up to 50% of the duration of your program online. So if the situation continues, you can study up to 50% and then it still won't affect your post-graduation work permit. It is important to remember that if you decide to come to Canada, you are subjected to quarantine, which means you must self-isolate for 14 days and you must present to the officer that you made arrangements to stay at home and do not go anywhere during the first 14 days. So this is very important. And if you don't comply with that requirement, you may be subjected to prison, to fines, and even put at risk your future immigration plan because you may be considered inadmissible to Canada because you did not comply with the regulation. If you're coming as a worker, the government of Canada may request that you still have a job offer, a valid job offer, and a confirmation that your employer is waiting for you. Yet, you must comply with the 14 days and you must, and in this case, you can receive the salary while on quarantine. So from the day you arrive in Canada, you are considered already as part of the workforce, and then you have to receive money for those days, even though you cannot go to work. So that's very important too. If you're planning to come to Canada, we have partners that can help you. If you're planning to come to Canada, we have partners that can help you with finding a place and also helping you to buy the grocery stores so you can respect the self-isolation period that's required. If you haven't applied for your visa yet, the government of Canada continues to receive applications, but they are prioritizing the urgent applications, especially outside Canada. So your application can be accepted, but most likely you have delays. If you're in Canada, the application continues to be processed. You can still do the medical exam here in Canada in most locations, but your application will not be completed process if you are unable to do the biometrics. And unfortunately, the centers that collect biometrics outside Canada and inside Canada are still closed. If you receive the letter for biometrics, they usually state that you have only 30 days to complete the biometrics requirements. However, due to the COVID-19, they are automatically extending the time for you to do the biometrics to 90 days, so 3 months, okay? And you don't need to send any request for an extension to the government of Canada. It's already considered automatically. If you received a letter for biometrics and you couldn't do before the closing of the biometric center, you automatically have 90 days. If you already applied for permanent resident of Canada, received the approval, and didn't travel before March 18, we recommend for you to wait until the service is normalized. So this trip may not be considered essential, and you may have a hard time explaining to the officer why you decide to travel, because this, as I mentioned, put at risk the lives of people that are working and the other travelers as well. So in this case, if your document expires, it is possible to request an extension. So don't worry about it. If your document is expiring, you just need to send a request for an extension via web form explaining that you couldn't travel because of the current situation. As you may know, for those who are already in Canada, even with a temporary resident, for example with a study or work permit, they are eligible for the government benefits. The government of Canada is paying $2,000 for all those who lost their jobs while in Canada. So if you had worked before in Canada and received at least $5,000 in the past year, you are eligible for the Canadian Emergency Benefit Plan. And one question that comes to that is, if I want to apply for immigration later, or if I wanted to sponsor my spouse, would receiving that benefit affect my eligibility? No, it won't affect. You can still receive the benefit and apply for permanent residency or sponsor a spouse, and this won't affect your eligibility to apply. Here in Vancouver, BC, and a lot of other provinces where the COVID situation is not as critical, the provincial government representatives are already considering reopening partially some of the business and slowly going back to the normalcy. Because of that, I do believe that all these limitations are going to come to an end very, very soon. So keep an eye on our social media, on our videos, and hopefully I can bring some updates for you very, very soon. I hope you guys liked this video. If so, please give us your thumbs up. Thanks for watching and have a good day.